Louise with louisemckayart, and welcome to my channel. And I have just recorded one of these creations. This is a paint skin, and I forgot to turn the camera on until after I already laid all the colors down. So I'm gonna hopefully create another one. And this is a commission for a charcuterie board. And my first one turned out okay. I'm not gonna use it because my second one turned out dynamo. So I'm gonna make a third one. And that's what we're going to do today. That's what we're going to do here. I'm going to show you the other creation after laying down the paint colors, or I'll just show you this one fully. But again, this is for a charcuterie board. And this is my Glidden GLN 6011N. Get it at Home Depot. Okay, colors, and I'm almost out of this, so hopefully this one comes out good. This is Caramel Drizzle by TLP, and I added to it some Amsterdam Copper. If you know me, I like to mix my TLPs with a regular tube paint. So I get the best of both worlds. I get the solidity of the tubes, plus with either an Amsterdam or a golden, you can't go wrong. And I get the bling and glitz of the TLP. It's like a blending of the best of both worlds. And at some point I'll flash up what the kitchen is I'm trying to match to. Golden, 24 karat gold, iridescent gold by Golden, and 24 karat gold by DecoArt. I do not know why my first one ended up so light. Well, I have a theory, and that's this. This is Amsterdam's Titan Buff, and I threw a little bit of Golden's iridescent pearl in here. I needed a creamy color, and iridescent pearl by itself was too white. But I'm going light on that because my first one went too heavy. This is a custom color. Started out as, of all things, DecoArt Thicket, which by itself is a little too dark. And I know when I was first looking at the color combination for the commission, I was thinking I was going to use my aloe, which is another one of these innocuous looking paint colors. That's my regular aloe you've seen me using lately. This is the Thicket. Let me show you the colors. Aloe, Thicket. But that was too dark. That Thicket was too dark. So I lightened it up with Golden's titanium white, and I grayed it up. You can see, I don't know if you can see, it's subtle. And I grayed it up with Shading Gray by Golden. This is bronze, iridescent bronze by Golden. And I'm really hoping this is going to turn out like the last one, or even close. All right, and then Golden Black, Carbon Black, and this guy is getting a little thick. I really gotta amend this batch a little bit because it's getting way too thick. I can barely get it to run. Yeah, I've been using this black for quite a while. You can adjust the, you can amend your paint and thin it down thick, with a little more pouring medium, a little more color, or even add just a little water to it. Cell Activator. Right. This is my American. Video 141 I'll link above. I show in that video how I mix it and what the ingredients are with a very specific recipe. I give you exact measurements in grams. All right, here's the white, titanium white, Amsterdam. A little bit, don't need a lot. And the black. And here we go. Gotta find my blow. Like I just mentioned, sometimes I even have trouble finding my blow. And I have a really good video. It's video 419. I'll link it above. And in that video, I show how to find your blow in the first place with a little trick, like a little cheat. And then how the speed of the blow and the angle of your blow will affect the way your composition turns out in the end. So all I do here is I'm just blowing out in each direction to get the petal to form as best as possible. I also have some other little tips and tricks in that video. So if you're having trouble with your blow, I definitely recommend 419. That looks good. I'm going to blow a little more over here. Oh, it's so pretty. And I don't work with copper much, and it's taken me a bit to get used to this copper color, but man, it's pretty. So you see how stubborn this is after I've already blown this out, and I risk blowing into the pillow to try to get it to move. So here I'm just blowing it out in the middle a little bit to get the cells to form by spreading out the cell activator, and so that the paints underneath can push through and form some really pretty cells. I'm going to take a moment to cover up my paints, and I'll be back. I just wanted to take a moment to cover up my paints. I just didn't want to have them sitting out because I knew I was going to be done with painting today, and I might want to use those paints again tomorrow. And they're already thick enough, so I wanted to make sure I covered them up before I get too far. And I'm going to go on fast forward as I talk through this section. So all I'm doing here is I'm just adding a little more pillow as flow paint. And I'm going to skip past some of this part, but obviously, if you've been watching me, you know I do this every time. You want to add flow paint so that as you spin, the paints don't roll over itself, and the composition will just flow out like the color just running over the top of water. I should be ready to give it a spin. Let's develop this bad boy. This one's a little lighter than the last one, but that's okay because the colors are going to come out. The colors are going to stretch. Once this opens up as I spin it, the colors are going to push up, and this green I'm expecting is going to come shining through. I want to keep this thing centered as I'm spinning it. So I think I'm going to go this way just a little bit. I don't want that to get away from me. And I'm looking for about 10 inches. See how that's running away? See, it's running away. Stop running. Stop running. Stop it. Stop it. I'm going to put a little stick under there to deter it from running so far that way. So I still need it to go this way. Let me encourage it to go that way. So speaking of encouraging, I'd like to encourage you to see my description where I have links to some of the products I use, and also direct links to some of my more educational type tutorials that might help you out. stop going that way. Oh, that thing's got a mind of its own. So my problem is the width of this is stretching out almost to the edge where the MDF board is underneath, and I cannot let it get over because there's no support underneath. This is almost off. Let's see how big. Maybe I'm almost done. I think I need to go a little bit more. I need to go this way. I needed to go side to side. Side to side. Come on, just side to side for me, please. I'm about the end of my rope right there. I can't go any farther. Just kind of. I think I'm gonna have to stop because I have competing ends. Actually, I don't mind going that way. That way's okay. Now when I lay this down for bed, it'll be flat. I'll take the MDF board out so the paint can flow where it needs to. Let me just blow it a little bit. Actually, that's not gonna be doing much good. Let's see. Let's see. How big am I exactly? I think we're gonna call it. I'm gonna dunk a couple of these white spots. And that one came out horrible. And I'm using the toothpick to ever so gently kiss the white spot itself or pop the bubble, the air bubble. Not so bad. Just kiss the white spots. Yeah, I really want to go wider, but I can't risk going deeper. So we're just going to call it done. Leave that. It's kind of interesting. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. Not as happy as the last one, but this one's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, I do have a full 5-part tutorial playlist series of how I make these from step 1, which is this step 2, which is having the paint skin dry, cutting it out, step 3, applying the paint skin to the board and all I do for that. Step 4 is a private tutorial, which talks about resining, and then last step is where I finish off the boards with handles, wood butter, and feet. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to link it above here and come back and watch that after you see the full finished creation of this. All right. So everyone, here are the wet results of the 2 paint skins I made, and I actually have a 3rd paint skin that I'll probably find a good use for something. And then here is a photo from the kitchen where this charcuterie board now calls home. And if you ever need any functional art that's color matched to your decor or somebody else's, just let me know. I love commissions. And here she is, fully finished, and like I say, I always show the final results so you see that it got from the start point to the end. And I just want to point out the resin finish there on the edge where the paint skin meets the board. That's what that part 4 tutorial is all about. How do you get that nice smooth edge where the paint skin meets the board? I go into great detail in a 37-minute private tutorial, and if you're just starting out with this, definitely it's worth your weight in gold, because it took me about 1.5 years through trial and error of figuring out the best method to get this nice smooth finish on these charcuterie and wood boards. And the price of this tutorial is a very small investment that will save you a lot of time and frustration in your creations. You don't want to get to the end and then mess up on the resin portion. And one last thing, if you're new here, please join me by subscribing, hitting the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could comment and leave a thumbs up. That's all for now, everybody. Take care. Till next time.